Good morning and welcome to the Early Bird. And here we're looking at the Dow Jones on a 30-minute chart. And as you see that the market has trended up quite nicely through this period here. And pulling this trend apart, it appears that there is still more to go on this trend here. So we should see another push up here, which should take us to about midweek. And if that wave count is correct, then we'll see a correction of this trend coming up through here. Markets are trends and corrections of different degrees. And what you see here is not what you continually get. So we have to logically expect some sort of correction. And that brings us into the bigger picture as well, in terms that this 12,500 here, I'm sure that at some stage it will be tested. The market can move up here further, but then we should see some sort of retest of this whole trend coming up through here, some sort of retest. But for the bigger picture, it would be nice to see this 12,500 retested and finding support on that level there. Sure, it can come a little bit lower, but the general gist of everything is that by the end of next week, if this whole area here can be supported, then we've actually got a foundation for the next trend to go up. If this market, if the Dow comes back down below the 12.5 here, then it starts to destroy the actual trend that we've got going through here. And if we were looking at this as a corrective move up, but it's because it's traveled through the 12.5 there, well then, we have to look at a bigger picture going to the upside. So in this, we had this as an A and a B, and we're looking for 5 waves in the C wave here, and it's still expanding, and there's still more to go within this. But what I was sort of thinking is that if we're looking for 5 waves going up, and that's what we're doing in the Australian dollar, by the way, so we expect to see further upside in those markets, but after a pullback as well. But if we were looking at this in terms of up for 1 here, back for 2, 5 waves up for the third wave here, that would finish up around here somewhere, and then we'd see an A and a B and a C coming back, testing the trend for support. And if it finds it, fine, then there'll be a 5th wave which will push up higher. But the beauty of all this, though, is that if we get this 5-wave structure up here, and it looks like we're getting that, if that continues and we get our 5 waves up there, then we'll be looking for a much bigger trend in the market to the upside. And that's been the sort of case that we've been looking at with the Shanghai market and the other Chinese markets, and India's not far behind it as well. Of course, the Taiwan and the other markets there sort of follow that path as well. So it will be interesting to see how far we can go with this, but we still need to see a nice clear 5 waves up. The S&P is the same as well. We've had these nice trends up, but we haven't seen any corrections yet. So we're looking for the ending part of those there. Support on the 1330 here, which is a subgroup level here of 10, 20 and 30. Support on this would separate psychologically from the price of the 1300 here. So we kind of want to see this get up to the 1350 here and come back and test it and find support on that. If this market drops through the 1320 here, or even a bit below that in this support area, then there's weakness creeping in there, and then we've got a concern for further downside. But we're looking for a top. We're looking for support on the 1330. Sure, that can come down lower into this area here, but we need to find it back up on there, and just generally develop support on this area here, and that would be a supporting factor for a larger picture to the upside. And with our local market as well, the futures market here, it's really all about the 4600 with our markets. I'll just go on to our cash market here, the ASX 200 here. And we know technically that that the first supply was coming in around, which is just sellers resistance at the 4600 here, and we've seen that sort of come in there. But what we're sort of looking for here is 5 waves to the upside, and in terms of up for 1, back for 2 here. And I've got this at wave 3 here, but I don't think that is the case. I think this can actually go to here. So we'll see how we go with that. It's just that this is quite unclear in this little area through here. I can work out parts of it, but we'll just leave that there for the time being. But the main point here for us trading stocks is that yes, we will see this market push up on the Monday through here, and that will give us a rough sort of 5 waves through here. So we can look at the 650, or at least a good 1% up anyway, and this would be the resistance area in here. But what we want to see is that 5 waves there, but we also want to see, after that's done and dusted, we want to see the 46 tested as support here. So a move up through here. The US markets are closed on Monday, so we won't have any sort of follow through from that. So we should have a pretty clear run, but we'll be looking for this resistance area here to become support. So we will see a push up, and if it does come back, we want to see support come in on the 4600 or the 46 2030 here. Okay, the SPY here, right, so this is already priced in here. It's already got the move here. So if you're trading the SPY here, then you'll see that we've kind of got 5 waves to here. So we've got the 1 and the 2, the strong third wave in here, which has still got a bit more to it. So we'll see a push up through here, a 4th wave, and then a 5th wave up to here, and the cash will catch up with that hopefully. So we're just looking for, yeah, a push up and then a push up here. So if you're trading long on Monday, then anywhere above the top of group 1 here as support is what you're looking for. And then you wouldn't buy just in front of the midpoint, the 50 here. You would want to make sure that you're sitting on top of that as support, and you want to start taking some money at 65 and then 72. And if 72 becomes support, then fine, move back in. But if you're sitting on top of support on 72, then the stop needs to be at 63. Okay, for the drivers, we're looking at gold here, and it's all pretty much sort of panning out how we thought it would pan out. We were looking for this 5-wave structure to come down through here. We were looking for a retracement level. We weren't sure how far we were going to go up on this one. The 61.8 is the sort of normal thing up here, but we had this little ABC in here, and now we're seeing it unfold to the downside. So we'll, as far as I can see, while the stocks are pushing up, then we'll see while Greece is resolving itself, we'll see this gold push down through here. But I was sort of thinking that we would see this move come down through here into this subgroup 2 area here somewhere. I was thinking of around the 72 here to have a smaller 5-wave structure down to here, and then a bounce back up, pulling back up to some degree through here, but essentially a retest of the 1500 here, because it hasn't been retested. The breakthrough is fine, but the retest is more important. So if we see the retest coming off the 72 here, coming back up through here, then that's fine. I mean, even if this does push down stronger through here, then the retest would be in amongst the 72 here. But for now, let's just assume that we need to see a retest of the 1500 there. So be aware of that, and that would come off this 72 area through here. Right. Crude oil. Yes, it does follow stock most of the time, but it hasn't really pushed up with stock, as you can see through here. It's pretty much kept to itself. This is a continuation contract here. The 61.8 retracement level from this point here down through to here is in around here at the 97.50 here. So this little pattern here, it does appear to be a 4th wave. So we're looking for support on 95 and a push up. When we have a look at that intraday a little bit further and on the actual futures contract here, it does appear to be a 4th wave through here. So we can call this in at the 4th here, and we still expect a move up through here. But don't trade long until you've got support on this 95 here. That you need that proof of the market's got to prove to you that it's strong enough, and you need to trade it off support there, because this is a little bit difficult to work out in through here. This can certainly be the wave 3 in here, the wave 4 to here, and the wave 5 to here. So it can already be priced in there, and this can be something that's unfolding through here. It's just not very clear. But just looking at this is a messy wave 4 pattern. It's certainly there, and with stock feel that we've got another little push up for that, then we'll see a smaller wave structure up there. If this is the, I'll just bring this in here. If that is the third wave through here, then that means that the extension is in the third wave, and it's normally in one of the structures. It's normally in wave 1 or wave 3 or wave 5. Most cases it's in the third wave. However, if there is an extension in the third wave like this, then the wave 5 here is normally about the same size as wave 1 here. It's a bit of a general sort of guideline rule there. So, it's not that we'd expect this to push up too far, and the 96.50 would be fine at that point for that. So just be aware that there may not be a lot of range in there, but if there was range in there, and there possibly could be, and the reason I say that for is because of the time that it's taken to create this large correction here. So we could take that distance there and square it up in terms of time to equal price here, but definitely have to wait for 95 to become support there. The exciting news is in the copper, and the copper's got a nice base through here. Just got to point out that this, a bit like the euro actually, we've got a resistance point up through here. So these old highs coming through here, really pegging the price into the 430 there. So of course our material sector and currency, Australian dollar is on the rise with this here, and we're tracking a 5-wave impulse wave up through here. So we can expect, with that trend line coming through here, we have to expect some sort of corrective activity to unfold within here before we see any further upside through here. So yeah, expect the price to stay around here a bit, so it's a bit like the euro as well. So when we look at the euro here, which the euro moves with the S&P 500 and the Dow, there's two possible counts we can have on this, is a bearish and a big larger bullish picture. The same with the S&P 500. On our 4-hour chart, we've always maintained that there was the low of a wave 4 intermediate flat was at that current low there. So there is possibilities for the upside in the euro here, and there's more possibility for the Australian dollar to make new highs above 110, and we'll be looking at that. And of course that would be driven by copper, so that's why I'm sort of looking at all this to go up. But you can see that in this little area here that the price is going, it's not going to go far in the short term here, is it? So we just need to be a bit aware of that, of this situation here. So we need for this to unfold here, so we can still expect more. This trend up hasn't been corrected as well, so we can expect more corrective activity across the 45 here. So I just reckon allow it to unfold here. Don't get chopped up in its if it finds support on top of group 1, which would be 14530, by all means trade it to the upside. But while it's under that, then it's going to be a bit tricky to deal with. So looking at it on a 2-minute chart here, we can see that it's tried to get up there this time. It got a bit further the second time it got up there, but on the retest coming back, it couldn't find support. But if at this time here it gets up there and finds support on that, then you've got a chance to go up further. But it must retest the top of subgroup 1 before you can move up higher on that. And once again, that's what group 1 is there for, and it doesn't matter if it's subgroup or minor group, but support on top of this group 1 here, and a good solid support, that's your key to the upside there, because at that stage it's supporting. What it's telling you is it's telling you that we're forgetting about the previous largest number and we're on our way. So this pattern here also looks corrective as well. So this has been the high here. So this is corrective, means that this would be could be part of the correction. It looks like we will go higher because this is corrective, but we still can have this down as an A and a B and a C wave coming back through here. But anyway, that's your lead there, off the top of group 1 as support there. The just got to go back to the DXY here. So with the US dollar index, we can see that that we're still going further to the downside. And just to sort of point this out a little bit, we'd come through here the other day and we were looking for, you look, if we understand subgroup 2 needs to do what it does, but we were looking for the retest, and that's the retest there. So that's done, and now we're moving lower through here. So we can expect further lows to come down because this is a corrective pattern. It's corrective because it's got overlapping wave structures, and that simply means that yeah, these highs and lows overlap each other. So we should see further downside here, and obviously the support's 74.50, but if we'd seen further downside, it would come down through here, bounce off that, go back up, hit that, then work lower, break through, come back up, retest that, and then move down further. So that's what we'd be looking for here, further to the downside here. That means that the euro would push to the upside, and that would also help the Australian dollar as well. But we think these are getting to their low points here. When we're looking at the Australian dollar here, we're looking for a 5-wave structure to the upside here. And okay, so we've got wave 1 from the 104 here. We're looking for up for 1, back for 2, and we're looking for little 5 waves always up to, all the way up to number 3 here, and then to number 4 here. Okay, so then we're looking up for 5 here. Now there's a couple of important things that we need to look at here, and one of them is this number here, this red line here, which is 107.72, and the 108 here. So both of these numbers will have a strong pull, and 108 or the 8 number is just note it as a profit taking number. So look, we will see some sort of correction here. We'll probably see if this wave count is correct, we'll see up for 1, back for 2. We'll see up for 3 here, which could take us a bit higher up through here. We'll see a wave 4 come in through here, probably finding support on the 72 here, or certainly in subgroup 2 area here, and then a push higher up through here. But once we've got this 5 waves in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then we'll see a larger correction come back into the 108 here, but a correction that it would be part of a motive wave. So we'll have 5 waves up here, which is an impulse wave, and then we'll have an A and a B and a C wave, which could come back to the 4th wave of 1 lesser degree, which is this guy in here. So that's where it can come back to once it unfolds across here. Now, as this is doing this, the Australian dollar can have a bit of a mind of its own, but it also can work with the cash market as well. So it's good to know if they are working together, then get some sort of reference on that. And this correction across here could be in line with the 4600 on the cash market there. So the 108 and the 4600, we should be able to use those corrections to line all this up. And also the copper market will be in the same sort of thing at 430 as well. So those markets should sort of ring in together. Yeah, we just see that pressure on the euro there, and and we'll see about the S&P 500. The S&P 500 and the Dow are the same as this picture that I'm pointing out here as well. That's why it's a little bit difficult to point out with those guys, because they've been such long trends, but they're kind of in their last subdivisions coming up through here, and they'll see a bit of a correction as well. But they can still have a bearish outlook to them as well. So the Australian dollar is a bit different, and yeah, so a bit of a different boat. But we will have a look at the US markets on the Tuesday, and that's we'll pay special attention to them at that point there. But we should be able to get a lead from the S&P 1000 and the Dow transports as well, and the euro may even show us a bit of light first up as well, because it will obviously be trading through the Monday, where the Dow Jones and US markets are not. So we'll see how we go, but kind of expecting midweek to have a correction in the Dow, and we would see that in ourselves. So we sort of look at sort of Wednesday, I guess, for a correction in on the cash market and also the currencies here as well. Alrighty, that's it. We're going to continue to trade long on the Monday and the Tuesday, and look to sort of bank a bit of profit on some of those longs. So you don't always have to wait to get stopped out. It's okay to take profit at certain numbers, certain whole numbers. Yeah, find the middle path on that one. Alrighty, well, good morning and good luck.